Alrighty, everybody. Happy Monday. It is December 18th, 2023, about 8:45 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to do a little bit of testing here the rest of the year. We've got the Ultra Bonds up. I'm testing a new strategy for the Ultra Bonds. So I've got my SIM account up on TradeStation. I passed that challenge on Friday on the NASDAQ. That was fun, but I've declined that account. I've now been able to see how two prop firms operate in terms of their fills, and I'm collecting some interesting data, and I'm doing that again because I'm starting another company that is a little bit related to that, and I want to see what the fills were like on those different prop firm SIM accounts, and it was an interesting experience. I still might do one or two other companies to see how their infrastructure is set up and what their fills are like, but for now, I've got to focus on testing this strategy that I'm developing for the Ultra Bonds. So I want to share that with you guys. I'm not going to be doing a pre-market forecast for the rest of the year for the futures markets because I'm not trading them myself, and I'm more interested in testing this strategy. So this is what I'm going to share with you guys. And other than that, I'm going to kind of, have the foot on the brake and relax heading into Christmas and the new year and come back fresh and ready to rock for 2024. So this seems like a good end of year project, have a little bit of fun. And what we're doing here is I'm waiting for key OMA levels to match up with really important areas that we're seeing on the volume profile here to your right. And I'll try and explain this as we go. And we're trying to hit it hard and fast, get our money, get out on big contract size. So usually I'll hold an Ultra Bond trade for say 10 ticks, 12 ticks, but I'm trying with this strategy to match up the key OMA levels with the key volume areas on the profile and hit it hard with 5 contracts, get a few ticks, be done, and move on to the next trade. So let's see how that ends up going. I haven't taken any trades yet, so we'll see. Right now, what we can see is we do have resistance up in here, and that's not surprising to me because my forecast for the day is that bonds will be under pressure here. We've got a lot of daily resistance. I think we will push down. So I think we could be seeing a break to the downside. You've got a pretty big flash here on the weekly chart. So I'm in favor of the short side today on bonds. Now you can see that's a pretty good little resistance pattern there. We're right at that 9 level. Let's go ahead and hit that at market. So we're short 5 contracts. And let's just see if we can get our 3 ticks. So again, I'm not looking for, a runner here, although that certainly could happen. But I'm just looking to get in where we see really good opportunities and some good volume coming in. See if we can, get a couple of ticks. I've got the target set at 3, but that might even be too much. We'll see. The goal is to try and manage risk effectively. So that when we're up 1 or 2 ticks, move the stop to break even. I don't want to move it to break even too quickly. So let's watch this together. So with 5 contracts, 3 ticks is $469. I'm going to try and hit the entries at market to make it realistic for the SIM fills. And then for our targets, we'll see if they trade through us or not. I do see a lot of resistance here. And you can see that we've got, quite a lot of volume here at 9. We're short 5 because we hit the bid at 8. And we're just looking for a little bit of a quick snap down to 5 if possible. Now, how much am I willing to give it on this trade? Hard to say. I've got the stop at 6 ticks. I don't really want to lose 6 ticks, but I've got to give it a little, room to maneuver. I think if we went down, 3 or 4 ticks, I'd have to start to consider to cut it. We're obviously going to take losses, but I'm trying to, set this up in a way so that, let's say 7 trades out of 10, hopefully, if we pick them right, are correct. Let's say for 3 ticks, and 3 out of 10, let's say, are wrong for, let's say, 4 ticks. That's a good edge. See if this will get filled. I know this is sin, but this is how I want to test it. So there you go. We got cleaned out there. And look, we would have got more, but that's okay, because that's not the nature of this strategy, because there'll be a lot of times, where it'll fill you and snap back up. So that was the first trade. And the reason I took that trade is because we do have a little bit of a potential congestion exit pattern to the downside here. And then when I saw this, that's the one you want. It pops up there. It got shut down. I was interested in that high volume node at 9. I saw it holding. That's why I hit the bids at 8. And that was our first trade. And that was a great trade. So what I'm also trying to do too is tell myself, okay, look, you take that trade, on 5 contracts, you make, almost $500, which is a lot of money. And then, don't give it back. Just reset, wait until the next really, really good setup. And if there aren't any, that's okay. $500 is a really good day. So I'm trying to really just get in here and take advantage of the treasuries for the first couple of hours and be done. And just do it on bigger size. For me, 5 contracts, I'm not trading this live, because if I see that this works and we're having some consistency with it and I do go live, for me, 5 contracts that's a big position. So I've got to be very, very sure about this before I decide to do this on a live account. I'm comfortable with a couple of contracts, but 5 is big. But that's why I'm also trying to just pick the right spot, hit it, and be done. And see, right now it's continuing to drop. You say, okay, well, we picked a great spot to get in. If we were still short, our 5 contracts, this would be a massive winner, which is fantastic. That's very cool. But we're filming it. We'll log it together and we'll see. If a lot of the trades end up doing this, then we'll know we need to hold them longer. But right now, I'm just interested in hitting it, getting it, and get out. And I want to see how many of them, just trade through us by a tick or 2 in reverse versus how many actually trade through us and keep going. And this is the kind of data that we'll collect together. So with all that said, that was a good first trade and a lot of fun. We will track our trades together here. This is just testing, so there's no pressure. Just going to have a little bit of fun. Use OMA, which works beautifully across everything. And really fun to see it specifically on the treasuries. And again, a lot of this depends on what I think the daily forecast should do, because typically I would say the direction of the forecast across most of the markets that I do when I upload those videos to YouTube, it's correct about 75% of the time, I would say. So if we can take these trades on the bonds in the direction that I feel confident the daily is going to go, it gives us a very good edge. And here again, we do have a nice weekly flash pattern, some resistance up in here, and the daily's just running into some temporary resistance as well. So that is the name of the game. All right, so I'm going to pause it. Now we're just waiting for the next setup. If there is another setup, it's coming up on 9 a.m. So just going to do this again from about 8 a.m. Eastern till, about 10 a.m., 10:30, depending, and just see what kind of opportunities we get for those first couple of hours. And are we able to pick good spots with OMA and confirm it with the daily direction that we're forecasting with OMA? And then finally, do we get that extra little edge with the volume profile? Because I've been studying this a lot and it looks like we do, but now it's time to demo test it. If it works demo, then we'll go ahead and go live. But I want to do it for a couple of weeks and, really get some data here demoing. I've already, back tested this. It's tough to back test because there is, still a pretty good degree of discretion, but I back tested it to the extent that I can. And it looks good. It looks like it has the potential to do very well. All right, so I'm going to pause it, guys. We're just waiting to see if there's another setup. And what I want to point out too is what I'm really interested in. I want to see the kind of heat we have to take on the positions, right? And that's one reason I'm running this test on the Ultra bonds, is because, the Treasury market is just a lot quieter than, say, the equities, the indices, right? So you can go bigger contracts and it's not, plus minus 20 ticks, every 5 seconds. So that's why I'm running it on the Treasuries. It's just a bit more stable. And I want to see how much heat we take, on our average position. And, we'll see, like on that particular trade there, we entered at market. So that's a realistic fill. We would have got that, live. And then it traded well through our take profit there. So we know we would have gotten filled. Because in a sim environment, sometimes you can have limit orders that maybe get filled in sim, but they wouldn't get filled in the live market. So I'm trying to avoid that by entering always at market. And then hopefully on the targets, it'll trade through us. So that's what we're looking for. So now what we can see is we are pushing lower as we thought. And I think we're going to push quite a bit lower, actually. Based on this, I think we're going to push down here. I think we're going to gun for 123, certainly, at least, which is half a point away, about 16, 17 ticks away. And if that happens, we're going to use the volume profile to see where other big players are, coming in shorting. So I could see, that's why we took that trade there at 9. We hit the market, the bid at 8, but it was because of this here. So I want to see now as we work lower. I don't think we're going to get back to 9. I mean, you never know, we might, but that would probably be a good place to short again. But I want to see where the next high volume node is going to be, because if this is going to continue to work its way down, it's going to work its way down, off of these high volume nodes and then down through the lower volume nodes as we make new lows for the day. That's quite a mouthful, but hopefully it makes sense. All right, so we're going to pause and wait. Oh, and sorry, we were looking at the 30-year, I believe, before, because again, TradeStation doesn't have the rolling contract for Ultra bonds, so I'm just looking at the 30-year when I want to look at the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, because it looks the same as the Ultra bonds. So when I said, oh, we should head down to 123 at least, that was on the 30-year, but on the Ultras, that number is down there around 132. Which is still a full point away. So I think we could definitely have some room to the downside here on the Ultras. And I'm going to follow the plan. The goal is to not be a cowboy. Wait for those setups like that one there. Now, could we have made a lot more there? Yeah, that's good. We'll document it. And, sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes it'll fill you on your 3 ticks. You'll make your, in this case, $460 or whatever it is, and then it'll push higher, right? You just never know with trading. You got to kind of take what you can get in those moments and then get out and move on to the next one. I think that's really important. All right, so it's 9 a.m. And you can see we're kind of just heading straight down now, making new lows. So I have to look and see, where would be a good spot, because I do think that we're going to continue to head lower here, as I suggested. The question is, where would be a good spot to throw on another trade? And, we're just going to have to see. Right now, you can see you had, some contracts trading there at 31, but really only 964. But you know, that would be an area to consider. So let's keep an eye on that. Oh, and had I been paying attention, I mean, definitely could have picked up another 3 ticks here, because after we slammed down there, broke the extension, broke those lows. That's also the kind of trade I'm interested in. So had I not been in the process of studying that first trade, I most definitely would have gone for another 3 ticks there. But let's see where the next potential trade setups. Remember, we're looking for really good quick opportunities. You can see we're just kind of continuing to head lower, which is expected. But now we're just kind of waiting to see what happens if we punch back a little bit. Where does the volume come in? How does the OMA look? I don't propose to be an expert with volume profile, but I know enough about it. And this is what I'm really interested in learning, is when I see something I really like on OMA, which is very accurate, does what I'm seeing on the volume profile give me that little extra bit of confirmation to go big size, hit it hard, and get out? So far in the first trade, it worked. Well, we could have held it for longer. Yeah, but you know, again, that's not really the point of this particular strategy. And as I said here, had I not been analyzing the first trade, I'm pretty sure I would have gone in for another 3 there. And then I probably would have left it alone through all this. So to make 6 ticks and be up $900 on 5 contracts, you know, that wouldn't be too bad, right? As it is, we're up 3 ticks, which is $468, which is not bad. And now we're just going to continue to watch. See, so now what's interesting is you can see some pretty good volume coming in here at 17. And, you know, we've still got a ways to go here in terms of what I see on OMA. So I think that this could be, for example, I wouldn't want to short these lows, but because there's some volume coming in here now, you know, I'm interested in a low volume node up here. So 22 is where I'd be interested in. Let's go ahead and sell 5 there. And I know, you know, for this test, I really am going to be trying to do most of my entries at market, but I've also got to kind of trade it the way I would live, which in this case would just be looking, you know, for a short at 22. So that's where I would have a limit order. Let's see. You know, maybe we'll get smoked, but the whole point is just to test this and not think about the wins, the losses. We're on demo. I want to try and learn as much as we can. And the reason I'm interested in that low volume node is because I think we still have a ways to go to the downside, and we could see a temporary quick rejection on that low volume node at 22. And importantly as well, I also have a nice extension resistance trend line up there with OMA. And sometimes when you do have these firing trend runs to the downside, it will pump up into that pocket, hit the extension, and then get slammed back down. So right now, in this particular instance, I'm looking at that in conjunction with that low volume node, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens. You can see some volume coming in now at 17 at the lows. I don't think this is going to be the low of the day. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. Just based on the OMA daily, weekly charts, I think we'll be headed down to at least 132 for the Ultra Bonds today, if not probably a little lower. And the 10 years are still kind of pushing toward their lows. I'm just keeping my eye on the 10-year. Not really using it for decisions. We're just filming it now while we have an order in, just to see what happens. Go ahead and mute my mic. Okay, so it looks like it's not going to get up there for now, so we probably have to, set it at that high volume node at 17. Right there. We'll try and get 5 filled there. We just be looking for a quick rejection and try and get our 3 ticks and be done with this trade. The 10 years continuing to push towards new lows. That's why I'm looking at the 10-year as well. So I do like, if there's potential to get filled at that high volume node at 17, I think it'd be a good spot to try and get filled. That stock market opening in about 13 minutes. Trying to get up to our price. We've been in the queue here for a while, so I think, you know, if we were to get filled, pretty realistic, I think, even though we're on sim with the limit order. It traded up there, didn't fill us yet. That was kind of what I was looking for. See a little bit of a bounce here because we're putting in more volume here, but I don't think we're at the lows of the day, which is why I'm still trying to short this high volume node. Could be wrong. We'll see. So far, the idea has been right a couple of times. You see it pushes higher and gets knocked down. Just not getting filled. I still like it. It's a bearish OMA pattern there. Got some action at least. Kind of fun. Stock market's going to open here in about 9 minutes. Ten-year still under pressure. Pretty good range lately, so probably could extend the targets to you know, 4 or 5 ticks, but I'll leave it at 3 for now. You're getting another big volume node there at 14, but I don't want to take that. Our order's been in for a while now at 17, so if it trades up there and fills us, I think it's a pretty realistic fill. Depending, obviously, how many trade up there. All right, you can see it got knocked down there quickly for that tick. That's kind of what I was looking for, at least on the entry. I don't know if the trade will actually end up working or not. It may be trying to go for that low volume node. And now what I'm going to do, for example, try and get the one tick. They said they got me on a couple of them. Trying to get out of these so I can try and reshort at 22. I'm going to stop back a little bit and let's try and short more there. Interesting. I find this fun. A different way than I've traded before. Okay, so we got our one tick there. We're up 625. I still like it up here. I just think we're going up to this low volume node. So I'm going to just use the restroom, but I'll mute the mic, but I'll leave the recording going, see if it gets filled while I'm away. All right, so looks like we're still kind of hanging out, waiting. The key with this strategy is to play in the direction of the daily, first and foremost, only that direction. And then use the good OMA levels with the volume profile information. See how that goes. Stock market open. Loud trade station stock market bell. Moving this back here because I think we could potentially scoot through this low volume area back up to that low volume node there. Got a lot of resistance up into that 30 level on OMA. And we'll see, you know, if we get a close down here through that extension, you know, that might be a spot to go in at market and try and get 3 ticks. We'll see. Also, the speed is very important. You guys remember when we took this trade, it dropped really fast. I think we can cancel that order up there for now. I think the pressure is going to be on bonds, so we get a crack to the downside. With a good opportunity to take a few ticks, we'll try. Some volume came in there. We're putting in a little mini profile here. Now I think up toward the top of that profile will be pretty strong resistance. 20 and sell 20. I'm just learning as I go here with the volume profile, guys. I know enough about it, but not an expert by any stretch. So as it kind of evolves through the day, making decisions based on how the profile is forming, and then also what's going on, of course, with OMA and the markets. So right here, the reason I'm trying to short at 20 is because it's sort of, you know, at the top of this mini profile here. And I feel like there's a decent chance that it could at least pull back to that high volume node first, even if it's going to go higher. Let's see what happens. Only thing we can do is test our theory and learn as we go. Still waiting. And I'm not opposed to going long, just not here and not now. Daily energy, I think, is still very much to the downside. Now, does that mean we can't rally 15 ticks? Anything can happen, obviously. Especially with bonds lately, they've been wild. Kind of looking for resistance up toward the edge of that profile, and you know, for that magnetic, high volume nodes tend to act like magnets. That's where a lot of people feel comfortable transacting. I'm hoping pops up, gets rejected off the low volume node and trades back and fills us for our 3 ticks at the high volume node. And I'm interested in that because I still think the pressure is down from here, based on the daily and the weekly OMA here. Some pretty big orders came in there. I don't want this recording to be too long, but, well, I guess those who want to learn will watch. I need to record because I need to have it recorded for my own review. You guys will have to bear with me. That high volume node at 17 might be resistance now, but I'm going to wait. Kind of having fun with this, so let's see, trade till 11 Eastern. Oh, big sell order. There's quite a lot of selling coming in there. The question is, are we going to cycle back up? I got to leave it there now. The only reason is because you see, up here, I was more aggressive trading the high volume node because I felt like, we had room to break out. Whereas now, I still think we're headed lower, but we may pull back a little first, which is why I'm leaving my entry order at the higher end of that range. We could even pull back, up into 24, 25. I just think if we get a punch up to 20, there's a good probability I could pick up 3 ticks on that. Tell you what, if this starts to break, if these lows break quickly and on volume, I'm going to have to short. especially if that extension there breaks. That's the key. If we get a close down here at like 9, try and pick up 3. I'll explain why in a moment. And if we head higher, I'm going to put my order back 20. And now I'm still interested if we get a close there, but I'm more interested in shorting, you know, probably 17 now, the high volume node I'd be interested in. Unless we get a close down here, then I would short that. So 17 I'm interested in. And a close below 10. Let's see if we can get 3 ticks on a break here. Big sell order that came in there. See if we can get the flush to the downside. $10 years pressing on its lows. The reason I shorted this at market was because you had a pretty good break. These two lows, you see all these yellow dots, the envelope bottom, the near low. I mean, there was a ton of support there at 12 that broke, which is why I shorted there, trying to give it a chance. And the daily is, you know, quite bearish as well from our forecast. So we'll see. It might not work. Learning as we go here. 10 years making new lows. It's not like they're out of sync or anything. I didn't go short because I thought the UB would catch up to the 10-year. I went short because of the break of that pretty significant support level there that I outlined. See, a big order came in there. And move the stop now to break even. Stops at break even. I'll explain why I did that in a moment. So we're out at break even there. And the reason that I went ahead and moved the stop quickly to break even was because of this bar closing and giving a strong pattern against us with OMA. So I think there's potential now we could head back up to that high volume node at 17, which is where I'm more interested in shorting. We may still head lower from here, but the fact that we, I shorted at 9, and the fact that we couldn't slam down hard and fast to the target at 6, better to not be in. So now I'm more interested in, up around this level here. So that was a break-even trade. We'll see, what ends up happening. We're up 625 in demo money. Very exciting. I don't know if that's calculating commissions, so I have to check that later. Yes, we can check here. Yeah, they are. Okay, yeah, so we're actually up 589 because they are calculating commissions, which is good. This is the actual P&L. So far, I can disappear fast with 5 contracts. Guys, we'll pause our orders in. Okay, so it is trying to head a little lower, but I don't regret. Our target still wouldn't have been hit if we were still in on this trade. And I don't regret closing it because the whole point of this strategy is, you want things to happen quickly. I don't want to sit and wait. Canceling that order up there. Definitely interested in that broken support that's now resistance right in here. So up around 12 is where I'd be interested. You got a nice extension there. Yeah, it's kind of the middle of that range. I think we can try and short 12. I'm trying to just match up the OMA levels with the volume profile. I mean, anything can happen, obviously. I just don't think we're going to get back to 17. I think we're going to form a new profile down here. I'm just trying to get short in the middle here of these two profiles, which is lining up with some nice OMA levels. Let's see. Probably going to push up to like 13. But I want it to get filled and I want it to be realistic, so I'll leave it at 12. And I've got to eat some dinner soon. Just looking at a few things. I'm going to test closing that. Working off of the 10,000. I like our order there. I do think we're going to get a bit of a punch up to 12, kind of like we saw last time. Kind of stalled in here. Live on the edge for a sec. We're only trying to get 3 ticks, right? So getting a sense for, even though the daily energy is down, doesn't mean it's down for the next 3 ticks. And if we get up to 12 quickly, I'll have to cancel that and short at market. All right, let's see. I mean, this got to only be 3 ticks, because if that slams lower, it could go very fast. Now, I am going against the daily energy here, which could prove costly. Remember, we're just testing. Trying to keep it as realistic as possible. You know, just because things go down doesn't mean they go straight down. Sometimes they do. Ooh, I was just about to close it and take my tick. All right, we'll take our tick. We're not scalping, but we're just looking for 3 ticks, but also not opposed to getting a tick on 5 contracts. Right now, the closed PNL is 577. We've traded 20 lots, so 4 trades. I'm gonna keep working it a little bit here. I still think we're gonna push back up there, but I want to be leaning more on the short side. I think the long side is the dangerous side. I'm gonna have to grab a bite soon, but I'm learning so much that I want to continue. Probably will continue. It's dark here in Sweden. What else am I gonna do? Go for my evening walk in a bit. But I want to have some dinner. Keep testing this out. Volume quite a bit now, coming in at 8. That is the volume point of control now, is here at 8. Which is interesting. It could definitely be some support here for sure. Cancel that. There's quite a bit of support here, yeah. So I'm going to try and get long the VPOC. Didn't quite realize where we were on the daily. We've got some support here. All right, we're long. Got a delay there by TradeStation on my order fill. We'll see. We've traded a lot of contracts there at 8. Trying. All right. That was a good trade. And you might ask me why? Why, oh wise one? I'm not a wise one. Why did you do that? Well, I saw the volume point and control shift down here. A lot of volume was coming in and we weren't dropping. And you can see OMA, we're moving inside the envelope. We get a close right above the true average here. You know, I don't know really what's going to happen from here in terms of how high we're going to go or if we're even going to go higher. But I did feel that there was a good opportunity to get 3 ticks there. And there was. So, and now with this particular strategy, it's not like, oh, should I re-enter again at the volume point of control? We'll watch it. I'm not going to. I don't know. You know, I'm kind of trying to pick my spots carefully. Go big contracts. I'm trying to trade it as if I would my real account with 5 contracts. Right now we're up. Demo money. Just over $1,000 after commissions. We're up almost 1,100 here, you know, before commissions are calculated. So I do think there's probably a lot of support down in here. I might try and get long at 6. And the reason for that is that, you know, we haven't traded there yet. And we have quite a lot of, you know, the volume point of control coming in there. I think it's worth it to try. We'll be buying a new low a day. We haven't traded down there yet, so it's, I'm betting on it being a super low volume ping that'll fill us and quickly get rejected back to the top side. So we'll see. So far, no contracts have traded there, right? And so we'll have to see if we trade there, and if the trade works, we have to see if it would have been realistic. We'll see over here in the volume column how many would have traded there. Okay, let's see. It says that 10 traded there. So would we have been 5 of those 10? I don't know. Okay, now the offers are there, so we know we would have been filled. Now I'm just looking for a 2-tick move back to the volume point of control. I'll give it 4 ticks. It's looking like this was a mistake. Let's see. Didn't really want to be that much offsides. I'm going to try and just get a tick out of it. Okay, we got a tick, which is good. I mean, it may even end up head higher, and our idea may be correct here, but it went a little lower than I anticipated, so I was happy just poking a tick there. Now we're up 1178 after commissions. It's an interesting experiment here, matching up the OMA with the volume profile. I've been feeling there's a lot to really discover here with the volume profile, matching it up with OMA. And I felt it was time to explore that and not rest on my laurels. So we'll see. It's still got a lot of testing to do. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm going to go ahead and pause here just for a moment because I need to get some food, but we'll continue. I'm learning a lot today. I do actually think there's going to be a lot of support in here at the 4 or 5. I don't want to test it. I haven't put on an order. There's a pretty big sell order came in. The 10 years making new fresh lows. We are now expanding the profile lower. Interesting. On the daily, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I expected to happen today. I'm being careful from the long side. Glad that I just took the 1 tick profit there. See, bonds, that's why I like them. You've got a moment to think about it. Look at all these pink dots down here. Could be a lot of support. But we'll see. 26. Yeah, you've got some support down there at 26 for sure. Down in here somewhere. It looks like we're breaking some key support now. I kind of, do I like it better with the other 2000 as well? I'm kind of testing here, guys. So bear with me. It does kind of help me know what this lower time period is doing. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's a nice little support pattern there. I wouldn't be surprised to see some support here at 3. Or all right, let's see. You can see some volume came in there. 10-year looks very weak. I'm only going to risk a tick on this and try and get a tick. Because the 10-year is crashing now. So probably my stop's going to get hit. If we get lucky, we get a 1-tick winner. Yeah. Stop loss there. I think we're headed lower. The 10-year looks pretty weak. So that was our first loss. We're a tick. We're up about 1,000. We're not going to win every one, but we managed that well. That's how you use the 10-year. Just looking very weak. So we're just expanding the profile lower. It's interesting. What we learned is on our good little 3-tick winner there was because we had the volume point of control as support temporarily. That's interesting. Watch the profile develop here live. See if a bunch of volume comes in here and we don't head lower. It'd be a sign to get long. Because there's going to be support in here somewhere, I think. Famous last words. $10-year is stabilizing for now. We'll see. Okay, yeah, now you can see. Trying to push higher here, the ultras. You're going to see the ultras are pushing higher. See if the 10-year follows. Weekly true average coming in down here. I think it's going to be quite a bit of support down here somewhere. I mean, 20 maybe. Certainly 26. So big congestion entrance move to the upside here. There's going to be a pullback like that. We'll see. Trying to keep an eye on the volume profile here as well. A lot of support down here. But we are also extremely overextended. I mean, it's just a massive move, so I think we're gonna, I don't think we're gonna, if we rally, I think we're gonna close down around this level, but we'll see. My stomach is growling. Everything else doing? Interesting. A lot of support here for now, I think. Something like this. Wait. Yeah, kind of what I was thinking there. Now the question is, are we going to reject 8 volume point of control there? I think so. I get short the volume point of control. I think it's going to want to get back up there. So if we come back down to 2 or 3 down in here, I would try maybe long for a pushback up. This will be interesting. See so far on the 10,000 contract, it's just down, tiny pullback, down, tiny pullback, down. Is this going to be another tiny pullback down? Could be. I think so. That's what I'm leaning toward right now. So if we get filled, it'd be nice. See? Now I think we're going to get down. Six. Let's see. A lot of resistance in here, but may not get filled. I think we're setting up just for another micro pullback and then lower again. I think we may want to spike there up to the VPOC, kind of like we did here. You see, let's see one of these push-ups slam back down into this little pocket up here. I move the order to 8. Let's see, our order at 6 would have been filled, probably. Yeah, hard to say. The reason I had it at 6 because it was like a temporary, slightly low volume node. And 10:27 a.m. Eastern. Let's still jump up there to the VPOC. You guys know that's the volume point of control. Sounds more like a Star Trek term. See, Ryan. I wish they didn't have that confirmation button. Figure out how to take that off. Probably under my account orders. I don't trade live on TradeStation either. So we'll see. I mean, Quick fast close below 2 would potentially set up a sell-up market. Volume coming in. See, we almost got filled up there at 8. It was the right idea. Look at that. Quite a lot of support here. I need to try and buy that low there at 1. I think they might try and snake it through the lows and then reverse it. So that's why I'm trying to buy it. I think we're going to get a good push here. But it may want to just sneak down below these lows first. Got a new volume point of control now coming in at 4, you can see almost. So if we don't sneak back below, but we hold above 4, I'll try and do the same play I did last time. Which was just, remember when I bought the volume point of control here and got 3 ticks. Yeah. So let's see if we watch this volume here. We're at 6,300 versus 6,800 on. See if in. Been recording for an hour and 45 minutes. I think it's been educational. As for me, all right, volume, we're getting close to taking over VPOC here, very momentarily. If we pump up now on some volume, I'm moving the buy to 4 at the new VPOC. Kind of sitting. 10 years doing the same thing, not much. Oh, 68, 40. Oh yeah, we're new VPOC now. We're going up. So we're in at 5. I could have just left my limit there at 5. Sorry, at 4 at the new VPOC. I just feel like it could squeeze a couple of ticks here. I want to get in. Let's see. I think Owing's market analysis with volume profile is going to be very special. Just kind of getting there with my volume profile knowledge. I like to get 2 or 3 ticks potentially. PlayStation's matrix is pretty clunky. I mean, it's slow compared to Ninja or even just Rhythmic. I'll take that tick. It may very well push a little higher. Like I said, I'm kind of looking for quick reaction. We're up 1154 net of commissions. I mean, that's pretty good. We've really only been at this 2.5 hours. I mean, it's a decent wage for 2.5 hours. I'm going to continue because I want to continue to learn as much as I can about the volume profile. I'm just going to pause it and go make some dinner, and then I'll continue the recording for all those who care to hang out for the remainder. All right, guys, I got my dinner. Haven't placed a trade. And look, you can see our Boeing's market analysis with the volume profile was nice. We're learning a lot here as we go. Coming back up into this very low volume area. Gonna eat some dinner while I watch. We'll see. Take some trades. Gonna pause it for now. All right, guys. Well, it's 11 o'clock. We traded together for 2.5 hours here in demo. We learned a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. We finished the day up $1,154 after commissions. It's a demo, but you can see we did a really good job. Try meeting dinner. Using OMA to give us some key levels, and then using the volume profile to get some, really solid entries and good quick profit. So the studying will continue, but I'm happy with the first day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.